past week, the Ministry of Health reported 8 cases of COVID-19 in Jamaica. Government is tracing and testing all persons who might have been in contact with all patients. But there are things we can do to protect ourselves and prevent community spread. Practice proper sanitization methods and try to maintain a safe distance of 2 meters from all persons. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Sandra Johnson. We have an interesting show lined up for you as we continue to tackle matters relating to human trafficking. You don't want to miss a minute, so stay tuned. The National Health Fund is an agency which provides financial support to our national healthcare system in order to improve the effectiveness and affordability of healthcare for all Jamaicans. Find out more on Get the Facts next.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm your host, Enthros Campbell. Now, when you hear the name National Health Fund, you think of a card that allows certain individuals to get free medication or medication at a reduced cost. But there's more to the agency, as it also supports the development of our national healthcare system. Chief Executive Officer Everton Anderson is here to tell us about the broad operations of the NHF. Mr. Anderson, welcome to the program.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Great. Remind us of the mandate of the NHF. What was the organization established to do and how it is funded?
Right, the National Health Fund was set up some 15 years ago to provide support to healthcare in Jamaica. And at the time, it was thought that the agency would cover some key illnesses in terms of the medication aspect of care. And I think we started with 13 chronic conditions in terms of coverage, and it really provides support to persons, Jamaicans specifically, who have those chronic conditions. We also provide support to public institutions in terms of support for capital projects, supporting health promotion programs, and just generally providing support in great areas of need in healthcare in Jamaica.
Yes, and the direct benefits to us Jamaicans. Who benefits? How can they apply? Let us talk about that.
Right. Well, the NHF and JADEP cards are our major platforms for offering health servicing to beneficiaries. For the NHF card, once you're diagnosed with any of the chronic illnesses listed, and we now cover 17 conditions, I think we recently added 2, sickle cell in 2015 and lupus a few months ago. Once you're diagnosed with any of those conditions, we have our application form. Your doctor verifies you have the condition. You then come into any one of our offices and you get your card within 15 to 30 minutes. Initially, the benefit was mainly offered through our Kingston office, but we have listened to our stakeholders and we now have access to the NHF card on a same-day basis in every single parish in Jamaica. For the JADEP card, it's a card for persons 60 years and above. So once you get to 60 and you are diagnosed with any of the chronic illnesses covered, then you can also get the JADEP benefits.
All right, so the JADEP card is for 60 years, person 60 years and over, but yes, the NHF is for any age.
Any Jamaican, regardless of your economic situation, regardless of your age, once you have that chronic illness, then you can qualify. Then you qualify for the NHF benefit.
Right. About how many persons do we have benefiting now from these two initiatives?
Right. Our total beneficiary count to include JADEP and NHF is about 818,000 persons who are enrolled on these programs. 818,000 Jamaicans.
Right. Can you speak specifically to the illnesses that are covered?
Right. I mentioned earlier we cover 17 illnesses. And this is based on the illnesses that most Jamaicans would be affected by. So it includes asthma, arthritis, diabetes, hypertension, and other chronic illnesses, lupus. We also cover breast cancer in terms of the drugs, prostate cancer, and a number of other illnesses.
Right. So in terms of the cancer, you do the drugs, but do you do some of the treatments like chemotherapy or radiotherapy?
No, we only do the drugs.
Drugs.
We actually provide a larger subsidy
Yes.
for those drugs because of the high cost of cancer care. So we provide drugs through our card programs for breast cancer and
Right.
prostate cancer.
All right. Any plans to increase the number of illnesses? If so, what are some of these and how soon can we expect?
Well, we have an active discussion at the fund as to coverage. It's largely based on the funding that we have. So we go through a process of analysis every year to determine what is possible. And as you notice, in the last 3 years or 4 years, we've added 2 new illnesses. So we're always looking at new illnesses that can be covered.
Ms. Anderson, tell us a little bit more about the application process for the 2 cards. The NHF is, how is that done? Persons have to take a form to their doctors who would verify. Expand on it for me.
Right. The application process is very simple for both cards and similar. The first thing is that you have to be diagnosed as having any of the chronic illnesses. You then get your physician, your doctor, to sign on the form indicating and confirming that you have the illness. You can then get either JADEP or NHF card at any of our locations island-wide. Initially, we would offer a 7-day service at our head office, but we moved to a same-day service at head office, and we've expanded that same-day service, and it's available in every single parish in Jamaica.
Okay.
So if you get a diagnosis at midday, you get the form completed half an hour later and get to our office. You leave with your benefit card within 15 to 30 minutes in every single parish, because we really wanted to broaden access and really send a message that we're serious about providing an excellent service to our customers.
Tell us about the costs as it relates to both cards, the different
Right.
cards.
Well, for the JADEP card, the drugs are free of cost, except that beneficiaries contribute to the dispensing fee, which is $40 per item, up to a maximum of $240. So no beneficiary will pay more than $240. For the NHF card program, we provide a subsidy. And
$240.
maximum contribution for the
Yes.
JADEP program.
Yes.
For the NHF card, it is a different arrangement where we pay a subsidy depending on the illness. It ranges between 40 up to about 70%. We provide a greater coverage for conditions like breast cancer and prostate cancer, where the cost of those drugs tend to be a lot more. And the beneficiaries will then co-pay.
Yes.
And in some cases, they have both the NHF card and the health insurance card, which leads to a lower co-pay, which
Yes.
allows greater access.
Right. So I have a health insurance with a private company, and I have the NHF card.
Right.
I can use them together.
Right.
And there's no charge for getting the card.
No, the card is free of cost, and the
Yes.
process of accessing is really good. And I have to give the highest commendation to our 476 private pharmacy providers who support the
Yes.
program and have helped us to deliver what we consider to be an excellent service to the people of this country.
Okay. Let's take a break now, and we continue with more on the National Health Fund. Stay with us.
Don't make diseases spread. Wash your hands with soap and water instead. Wash them regular or use a hand sanitizer. Make sure the germs them dead. Touching your eyes or your mouth or your nose. Wash your hands before you do things like those. After you use the bathroom before preparing food, come on, wash your hand them clean. Cause it's so easy for germs multiply. You better wash your hands, it can save your own life. Wash your hand them clean, nobody spread no disease now. Hand washing is key.
A message from the Ministry of Health and PAHO.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We continue our discussion with the Chief Executive Officer of the National Health Fund, Everton Anderson. Mr. Anderson, the NHF is responsible for procuring and distributing pharmaceuticals, as well as managing the public sector pharmacy services. Explain, tell us how that works.
Right. Well, the process started in 2011 when NHF assumed responsibilities for what was then the Health Corporation Limited. Yes. So we've moved from that to now providing what we call end-to-end management of pharmaceuticals for the public health system. So we procure drugs through an international competitive tender, we warehouse drugs, and we also get the drugs to the hands of the patients. So it's really a massive operation that we run in that program, and we've seen our numbers move from under 1 million prescriptions annually. Last year we did 2.5 million prescriptions and dispense over 10 million prescription items to over 500,000 Jamaicans who access care in the public health system. So it's really an awesome task that we have embraced, and I would have to, at this time, recognize the staff of the NHF who have embraced all these changes and have really performed very well despite the challenges that come with offering such a huge service.
Right, so the benefit to us would be that you know what drugs are in the system, and so your clients will be able to access the drugs. You know that the drugs are there, and so we can access them easier. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Yes. So you have now have a faster turnaround time of issuing the cards, but I know that you have other initiatives to benefit your clients. Tell us about that.
Right. I spoke about the pharmacy service earlier, and I just want to speak a little about this. We have moved to really modernize pharmacy in the public health space. Our warehouse, which we inherited, is now ISO certified, and 4 of our large pharmacies are now ISO certified.
What does that mean?
It means that we've added a significant quality element to our processes to ensure that what we do is of maximum benefit to our clients.
Yes.
So we've added a pharmacy management system which enables us to move drugs around in a most efficient way. So the drugs don't belong to Cornwall Regional or KPH, it belongs to the system. So we're able from a macro perspective to look at where the drugs are and to adjust drugs based on patient needs at any point in time.
Yes.
In addition, we've managed to have significant reductions in waiting times through innovative initiatives like quick prescript, scheduled refill, and we are really working with our clients, bearing in mind that long waiting times can be a major barrier to access. So I really want to say that our staff have embraced this service, and it really has made some strides, and we are not done. We will continue to improve.
So this complaint about persons going to the hospital and their relatives having to go outside to get medication, is that a thing of the past? Are you moving towards improving that service?
Well, I think we have made some strides, but we have to contextualize in that the government has a list called the VEN list, vital, essential, and necessary. So at times, if a physician prescribes an item not on the VEN list, then we would not necessarily have that item. So persons will have to go outside. But I think we're now able to measure what we call failure rates, and we're now at between 85–88%, meaning that of every prescription that comes in, we're able to fill 88% of the time.
Very good.
So I think that is very important to note.
Yes. Talk to us about your drugstore pharmacies.
The drugstore pharmacies are predominantly now focused on managing a huge public sector load. As I mentioned, we have moved from about 1 million prescriptions annually to 2.5. We have some locations where we serve 400 to 600 patients per day. That is a very huge undertaking. So we really had to take a very creative, innovative approach to managing the service, bearing in mind that speed in dispensing is only one important factor. medication safety
Yeah.
is also important. So we have really managed to make those pharmacies a lot better, and we have plans to partner with our patients to do even more.
Yes, but people, if I have a prescription that I would take to a regular private pharmacy, if I go to the drugstore pharmacies, do I get the medication at a lower rate at the drugstore pharmacies?
Are you speaking as a private patient?
As a private patient.
Right. Well, we predominantly, as I mentioned, are focused on the public patients. The private patients that we now see would be those cases that we define as special. For example, those items not easily available in the private sector. So we provide cancer drugs, we provide items for hemodialysis patients and other special services.
Okay, right.
But our work predominantly is related to serving the public patients.
Okay, all right. Okay, so tell me about some of the other projects that you are working on to improve the health sector.
Right. Well, initially, the NHF started financing health projects. But for the last few years, we've moved from not only financing these projects, but to actually project management and execution. So we have done so many projects across the country. This year alone, I think it's 1.7 billion in project funding and management that we are in charge of.
Yes.
So we've done major projects.
What are some of these projects?
Elevators, new equipment. Our largest project was the construction of 2 cancer treatment centers, one in Montego Bay, one at St. Joseph's, and the value of that was about $15 million US. And we executed within time without any major cost overrun. We have an excellent project team who really understand that the needs of the public have to coincide with excellent facilities. I think for the most part, the response has been very positive. I would have looked at the core NHF benefits. The customer satisfaction has always been over 95%. For the pharmacies that would have just come on, they are about 85%. And apart from those figures, we've created avenues for patient feedback, which we use as a guide to build service excellence. So I think for the most part, it has been good, but good is never good enough in our sphere.
Yes.
So there are always plans to get better in the interest of the patients that we serve.
Great. Anything on the horizon, like soon, within the next few months or year?
Well, we have a team that says there's no 100% in what we do.
Yes.
So there are always new innovations. We have patient scheduling systems that we're working on now. Our major thing that we're doing in the next few months is a patient education and medication compliance program, recognizing that making the drugs available to clients does not mean that they will take them regularly.
Yes.
So we're actually piloting with the Pharmaceutical Society of Jamaica a program where we will manage 2,000 beneficiaries, manage them, and we actually do research to see what makes them compliant, see if we can implement that on a broader scale throughout Jamaica.
Yes. And before we go, the cards, we don't have to renew them, right?
No.
Once you get them, it's for a lifetime.
Once you get them, take care of them. But if you do lose a card, then we can give you a replacement card in the same quick speed in which you would have gotten your original card.
Okay. Mr. Anderson, thank you so very much for sharing with us on the NHF in this week's edition of Get the Facts.
My pleasure.
This has been Get the Facts with our guest, Everton Anderson, who is Chief Executive Officer of the National Health Fund. Until next time, I'm Rose Campbell. Take good care.
Today we bring you the final of our 4-part series, Traffic Blocking, where we look at the effects of human trafficking and what we can do to help.
The sad reality is that many Jamaicans are vulnerable to being trafficked every day, particularly our youth, especially students.
Chrissy, we're going to work tonight, all right? So after school, I want to go straight to your mother's house. You hear me?
Yes, Daddy.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hi, Jerry.
Hey, Chrissy.
I'm going straight home.
Yeah, what's up?
Because I was thinking we could go to Aperture and then...
Hey, Chrissy. Chrissy's boyfriend.
Uncle Frankie!
Alright. Just playing. Are you heading to Half a Tree?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Alright. I could give you a lift. I could drop your friend. And then I could take you to your dad's place. I'm heading to him right after.
Oh, sorry, Uncle. Daddy told me to go straight to Mama's house tonight.
Oh, okay. He has work tonight. How about you?
Yeah, man, sure. See you tomorrow, Chrissy.
We know that one of the popular means that traffickers use to obtain victims is by abduction. And so we decided to conduct an experiment in the heart of Papil to see who would be willing to enter an unmarked vehicle. I posed as a UA student looking to make a little extra money on the side. We placed our camera right there and we parked our car in an area that is frequented by robot taxis. Let's see what happens. You going grand tour? Yeah. Alright then, come on. I'm in this car. Open. Watch out for the water. Hold on first. Ma'am, you've just been trafficked. You just get into an unmarked taxi. Yeah, man. Can't do that. So don't watch for them face, even though they're nice and pretty like me. Okay, come outside, man, and smile to the camera. The Love March team was able to solicit 6 persons, 3 of which actually entered my car. Can we think about that young lady who, after entering my vehicle, ran out for her life into oncoming traffic? But no one noticed. No one noticed that she could have been a victim of human trafficking. How often does this happen? And what else is being done to combat this scourge in our nation, now that we know that our population is vulnerable?
Our victims of human trafficking, and in Jamaica so far we have rescued in the last 5 years 75 victims of human trafficking. We don't end our efforts by just taking statements and allowing the court process to work. Instead, we continue beyond that. So for our experience, our victims get the benefit of social support going forward. So we have not had anybody come back into the episode of human trafficking.
A study done by Ricketts and Dunn in 2007 in our very own country discovered that the most vulnerable population to be trafficked are young persons who are working class with a secondary education between the ages of 18 and 24, particularly women. However, men and boys get trafficked too.
We need to start, before they become victims, start education, start in the school, start everywhere, start social education to prevent it from happening in the first place, or to make them aware of what's possible.
You can't be open your eye, peel your eye more, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know who might just see and say, all right then, the girl there or the guy that look nice, me look like me can take them where, fool them or deceive them and make them do what they want to do.
We have to educate the public on these things, because if we don't, then they themselves as pending victims won't know what to look out for.
Take the time to have due diligence. It may be too late when you wake up and realize that, I should have paid attention. So my plea really is for persons to have eyes open, ears open. So if you can intercept and avoid that trafficking from even taking place, then for me that is absolutely excellent, because it means there's one more individual who is on the path to recovery, one more individual who would not have been put through the entire ordeal of what modern day slavery really is.
I'll start by saying that it is a situation, that's human trafficking, that globally is recognized as one of the most heinous crimes that has ever come into our experience. It is lucrative, as mentioned before, so it must not be taken lightly. We ask people that if we can cut the recruitment aspect of it, we can minimize this crime with a view of ending it. We also want people to speak up. It cannot be true that you're aware of a situation, but you're just not talking because it's not you.
Unless the family is informed generally on what trafficking is and what's happening in society, and they're not that minded, then it will continue to happen. So education is key to protection. I believe for Jamaica, we just need to become aware that this is real, that it's happening here, and that our children are valuable, that our children are the future. And if they're destroyed, what kind of future do we expect to have?
Human trafficking is a real issue, and it affects us as young people. And as a result, we have to protect ourselves. Young lives matter. I matter. You matter. Let's work together to end modern-day slavery. Traffic blocking begins with you.
If you know or suspect that someone is a victim of human trafficking, please call 188-PROTECT for victims under the age of 18 years, or 311 for victims over 18 years. You may also call the TIP unit at 967-1389 or email tip.ocid@jcf.gov.jm.
Reduce your risk of viral illnesses like the flu and coronavirus. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water. Cover your nose and mouth when coughing with a tissue and dispose of it. Avoid close contact with anyone with the cold or flu-like symptoms. If you become ill, please visit your doctor or the nearest health center and share your travel history. The flu and coronavirus can kill. Let's protect each other. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Thanks for watching another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Join us again tomorrow when we'll do this all over again. Send your feedback on today's show to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. Also, follow us on our social media pages and download our app on your Apple and Android devices. You can also visit our website at jis.gov.jm for more information. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Sandra Johnson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.